right, today we're not taking the Suburban. We're not taking the Matrix. The Suburban's back there. We're not taking that. Nope. Today we are taking the Firebird Formula on a 1,000-mile road trip. And as you can see, it is filthy. First stop is going to be to wash it, but I'm telling you, mechanically this thing's solid. Cosmetically, not so much, but yeah, let's see how the muscle car does on the 1,000-mile journey. I'm excited to do this. It's going to be snowing here soon, so I'm not going to have a lot of opportunities to take cars like this on road trips, so figured why not. Thanks for tuning in and stay tuned. So I find this interior very comfortable. Now, it is very poorly built. If you've never been in a 4th gen, mine actually has leather on the upper door panels, so they're soft. That's aftermarket though. They're all cracked under here. Dash is cracked in 14 different places. Airbags peeling up. No issues with the headliner. And this actually still has the T-top covers. And I also put on a very expensive, this GR Racing shift knob. I love this thing. It's from a 4th gen Supra. This company makes T56 swap parts for Supras. So obviously this is not a Supra, but it's a very high quality leather knob. I linked it in my other video. I'll link it here again. It's worth linking. If you have a 4th gen or any T56 car, this is the best shift knob ever. It's weighted great. Anyway, it's already warm, so this isn't going to be a cold start, but yeah. I mean, these cars are cool because it's just an LS. There's nothing to worry about. I have no fear taking this on a road trip. Let's get the AC going. It's supposed to be 70 degrees and sunny in Boise, so figured why not, you know, cruise with the T-tops off. And I always found this seating position extremely comfortable. You are laid back a bit and your legs are definitely, you know, sprawled out, but there's more lateral leg room than a Corvette. I've had C5s. I find these more comfortable. And there's a bunch of room for stuff in the back, which I have quite a bit of because I have these giveaways and stuff and all sorts of materials for work. So yeah, to me, this is kind of practical. Let's see how it does. First stop, we're gonna wash it. We're gonna fill it up with gas and track the fuel economy, but don't worry, we'll have some fun along the way. All right, much better. Now we can actually see out of it. Let's get on the road. And no, I'm not drying it. I don't really care. The paint is completely shot on this thing. I didn't buy it for the cosmetics. I bought it because I love how it drives. So yeah, we're gassed up. Let's check the fuel economy. This will be a highway fuel economy test of a 4th gen. I honestly think we'll see, because the speed limit's 80, so we'll be lucky if we get 28. That's my guess, but we'll see. We'll see what we can do. I'm not going to hypermile, but I definitely don't drive all that fast. So, all right, here we go. Well, first impressions when getting up to higher speeds here. The T56 is awesome, but everybody knew that. I mean, at 80 miles an hour, you're cruising well under 2,000 RPM. Even at 90, you're under 2,000 RPM. The other reason that I like the Firebird and the F-body in general, but particularly the Firebird, I like these seats better. I like this dash design better. I really like these vents better than the Camaro, but the price difference is not worth it. At the end of the day, they're the same freaking car. But the reason I like the F-body over like a Corvette is the amount of cup holders. So I got one here, I got two here, and then I have another one here, and there's a bottle holder in the door over there. So you really got 5 cup holders where you get one in a C5. I know that sounds like a very American thing to complain about, but when you're on long road trips, having a little more lateral leg room, you see where I can spread my legs out more, like just having more leg room, having more cup holders, it just goes a long way. Not only that, but I truly think these seats are a world better than the C5 seats. C5 notoriously has some of the worst seats ever made. So yeah, I'm comfortable. We're only 10 miles in, but so far so good. The torque out of the LS1 is incredible. Now this is a late model, so it has the LS6 intake manifold and the truck camshaft. This is a 2001. The 2001 and 2002 Firebirds are a little bit different, but at the end of the day, an LS1 is an LS1. But yeah, I can leave this thing in 6th, and I still got plenty of power to accelerate in 6th. So yeah, it's just a relaxed cruiser on the highway. The longer wheelbase also, I'm just going to come out and say it. These things ride pretty good. You know, these things were panned when they were new for not being practical, and I get some of that. Like, the long doors are a complete pain in the ass. Getting in and out of it is, I mean, it's not as hard as like a C4 Corvette, but it's up there. It's definitely not easy to get in and out of. But yeah, these things were not known as practical cars. People used to say the visibility sucked because of right here, this over the shoulder. But I mean, compared to a modern car today, this thing's a freaking fishbowl. Yeah, and as you'll see here, it gets pretty good fuel economy. It's comfortable. It's reliable. It's kind of funny. As time has gone by, these things have become more practical. I just rented a Mustang not that long ago, and this has much more comfortable seats. Similar, if not the same. Oh man, that is a big, oh man, big bump. Similar, if not the same fuel economy. This has more power. Now, granted, that was a 4-cylinder, but you know, there's all sorts of compromises you make that this doesn't have. This has a large fuel tank too. I believe it's a 19.2 gallon tank. But you'll see. We'll test the range. We'll test all that. Man, when Land Cruisers used to be cool, solid axles, the opening windows. Everyone says I'm a Toyota hater. Even though I have a Matrix, I'm not a Toyota hater. I'm just a modern Toyota hater. Yep. 85 miles an hour, under 2,000 RPM. Rides smooth, has 5 cup holders. I got nothing to complain about. This thing is very practical for daily driving, in my opinion. Now, that's in the summer. Trying to drive one of these in the winter would be fun, but I'm not sure how productive it would be. Very low ground clearance, solid rear axle, limited slip diff, tons of power. The ground clearance would be the real limiting factor, though. With the right tires, you'd be okay, but yeah. It really settles down and is a nice cruiser. I've always thought of these kind of as GT cars, and I made a comparison to a 4th gen Supra or a 300ZX or 3000 GT in my other video, and that comparison remains. I've owned all of those cars, and this thing's just as good, if not better, on the highway than all of them. The longer wheelbase, it rides really nice. The steering settles down, revs low. It's got room for all your stuff, and it's fuel efficient. It's a pretty good highway missile. These things are really underrated as just, you know, daily drivers, in my opinion. The 4th gen gets a bad rap. Everyone thinks of this car and thinks of, you know, just like a sideshow or them all being completely trashed, which, you know, a lot of that is true. But if you can find one of these and you don't go too crazy with it, it's a very practical daily driver. This one has a free ram air. Basically, it's got all the, what do you call it? Resonators are gone. And there's a scoop in the front. It's got a lid, which is just you know, an air lid on the factory air box. And that's it. And it's fast, it's comfortable, it's reliable. I mean, I haven't daily driven this thing in months, and I just got in it and I have no problem taking a 1,000-mile road trip. That to me speaks volumes about the reliability. A little further into the journey, 78 miles in. Yeah, right at around 2,090. This thing's a great cruiser. You don't need to make any steering corrections. The wind noise really isn't that bad. In all honesty, it's pretty quiet for a T-top, 25-year-old vehicle. There's a little bit of whistle over there. That window doesn't go up all the way. But, yeah. Firebird's running great. Can't wait to see fuel economy. This will be a real-world highway test at, 5,000 feet above sea level at 90 miles an hour. Let's see what it gets fuel economy wise. Not expected to set any records. Let's be clear. But yeah, nothing really to report. Still comfortable. Everything's going good. Just a little update here. We're in some construction zones, but we're gonna get gas here soon. Got about 245 miles. Still have half a tank. Very interested to see what this tank does fuel economy wise. Now this gauge doesn't read accurate, because if it did, we'd be sitting at around 30 miles a gallon, but that's not a true half. It's shaped like a V, so we'll see here. I'll get you guys an update at the next fuel station, but nothing to update. Still a great GT car. I'm glad I took this one, It's not as comfortable as the Matrix or as useful, but we'll see. It might be just as fuel efficient. Well, I made an executive decision because the exits were under construction that I was going to exit at, so we're going to make it all the way to Boise from Salt Lake on one tank. And I started all the way on the south end of Salt Lake. I live down in the Riverton area, so yeah, I got about another 30 miles and we've made it. So yeah, large fuel tank. Again, kind of speaks to how well this thing does as a GT car. This is the only vehicle I've ever not stopped for gas on this trip. I could have done it in my Suburban, but with that having 2 fuel pumps, I don't like to let that really get under half of a tank unless absolutely necessary. This actually already has the trap door in the back, so I'm not too worried about cooking this fuel pump. And if I am, it takes 5 minutes to change it because it already has the trap door cut in. But yeah, got about a quarter of a tank at 335 miles, so let's see what this does for fuel efficiency. I've been going between 80 and 90 miles an hour, depending on, as fast as I can go. So yeah, no complaints. Things comfortable. I didn't have to stop. That alone speaks volumes. I didn't have to stop to get out and stretch my legs or anything. I'm telling you, these things are slept-on GT cars. All right, we made it to Boise, 369.7 miles. Let's see how much gas she takes. Oh, man. It'd probably help if I turned it off. Okay. Yeah, looks a lot better clean. Yeah, let's gas her up. Okay, we're at 12.56. Let's give it one more. Yeah, okay, 12.61 we'll call that. Let's do the math here, but that's pretty fuel efficient. Napkin math is almost at 30. All right, that comes out to 29.3 miles a gallon. I'm not gonna lie, that's really impressive, because I didn't go below 80 the whole time. In those stretches, I had it in triple digits. So, you know what? I guess you really can get 30 miles a gallon with one of these on the highway, especially if you don't drive the way I do. But even driving the way I do, 29 miles a gallon, come on, 29 miles a gallon with this kind of power, with T-tops, with a T56. Looking like this. And these things are still cheap. You can still get one of these for under 10 grand if you look hard enough. So one of the things about a manual is, especially these Tramex, when it's cold in the morning, the shifts are slightly notchy. No grinds or anything, just definitely slightly notchy. But this T56 is awesome. Honestly, yes, the LS1 is 1,000 times better than a 4.6, but the suspension and transmission are the real reasons why I like these cars over like a Mustang. You know, a T5 or a T56, and then a double wishbone front with the panhard rear. These things handle incredible. Not only that, but I love T-tops. I still think these are a great performance bargain. It's kind of funny. One of my customers went for a test drive with me in this, and he may be buying my red one. Because I said, hey, I got two of them, and I really don't drive one of them, and I've mentioned it in my other videos, but I prefer the Formula to the Trans Am. The styling of the Trans Am is just overdone. I mean, a lot of people like it, but it's too much for me. I like the sleeper status of this one. So maybe selling the red 99 Trans Am and just keeping this and continuing to drive it. But there we go. We're at 6th at 65 miles an hour. Back to good fuel economy and just having, you know, more comfort. I will do some more acceleration pulls and get you guys some videos up here. It's pretty exciting because Boise's only 2,000 feet above sea level, where Salt Lake's, especially where I'm at, it's over a mile. So, yeah, gonna get you some acceleration pulls and whatever else happens. All right, I've been on all these country 2 lanes, just stop and go a lot. Eventually it was gonna happen where God, this thing is quick. I let off at the top of first and second because it started spinning too. I've never had problems with this thing spinning. I mean, the amount of power that you lose at 5,000 feet elevation, you don't realize it till you go back to lower elevations. I've never had a problem with this thing spinning. It dead hooks even when I launch it in Utah, and I'm not even at sea level. I wish I recorded it. I drove this thing to California a few years ago, and I was blowing the tires off in every gear. Yeah, I understand why everyone has a turbocharged car in Salt Lake. That's all I'm gonna say. More normal acceleration, but God, it's just so tempting. When every gear wants to go, even at 2,000 RPM. So it's really hard to behave in one of these cars. I've owned, you guys have seen a small cross section of what I've owned over the last couple years. I've been posted actively on YouTube. No car brings the bad in me out like one of these. You know, even when I'm renting something fast or, you know, the modern stuff doesn't really beg you to drive it harder. This thing, the whole time, there's just a little devil on your shoulder going, come on, bang that 1-2 shift. LS1 makes peak power at 6,000 RPM. Let it rip. I mean, this thing, it's a combination of a few things. Why this car is so hard to drive slowly. It's got a cable throttle. It's got torque everywhere. It sounds incredible. And a T56. Really hard to behave in a 4th gen F body. Another 90s GM car that I love. Got to park next to the Eldorado coupe. It's kind of staggering how much longer the Eldorado is. I mean, it's like an extra couple feet, but yeah, I've always loved these. The North Star, the styling, just a big body coupe. In case you guys can't tell, I really like my 90s GM stuff. This paint's in similar condition to mine. It's fading, it's bubbling, it's oxidizing. But from a few feet away, they both look great. Ah, God, I love the sound of a V8 in the morning. All right, let's drive this thing home. It's tons of cargo space, as you guys can see. Gonna load up my bags and clean out the interior a little. I actually have a slow leak in one of these tires, and gonna air it up a little bit and get back to getting 29 miles a gallon. We'll see if we can crack 30 on the way home. I'm gonna try and drive a little nicer, but we all know how that goes in one of these. Well, I'm not gonna set any fuel economy records on this tank. This one did have the city driving in it, so, you know, being under a quarter tank with 100 miles is not surprising. But yeah, I'm cruising at 90 to 100, so maybe I'll just take the 29 and 29.3 and just be happy with it. All right, let's see what it does. Yeah, this is gonna be a bad tank. What about 130 miles? About 20 miles a gallon. I'll do the actual math, but this was all city, and I had 3 or 4 people that really wanted to do some full throttle pulls with this, but it was kind of funny. I pulled up in this car, and one of my customers was oohing and awing. They're saying how much they loved it. They're like, man, I've been looking for one of those. I've been looking for a 4th gen. I can't seem to find a red one in really good condition. And it just happened to work out. I told him I had one, and he's buying it next week. So the red Trans Am is not going to be with me anymore. That's fine with me. As much as I love that car, I never really drove it. And it's going to someone who's really going to appreciate it. And as ugly as this thing is, I kind of like that it has dings, scratches, and screwed up paint. I could park it anywhere. It has almost 180,000 miles. I could drive it every day. I'm not worried about anything. I know it sounds weird, but I kind of prefer a car in this type of condition. I know. I'm weird. I like geo-trackers, cars with screwed up paint. Kind of weird. I don't know what else to tell you guys. Yeah, 129.7 and 7 gallon. That's under 20. That's more like 18 miles a gallon. Well, that's to be expected when you go 100 miles an hour on the highway. You do full throttle pulls. That's about a worst case scenario situation, and I'm okay with that. So just to show you guys the passing power, I'm in 6th at high elevation, and it's got no problem. I mean, that's half throttle in 6th. These cars are great. I mean, I know I'm selling one of my 2, but I don't know. I really love these things, and I highly suggest you get one. There's a little break in the action now for anyone who's shopping for one of these. Values really went high during COVID, and they're coming back down to reality. So I think it's a little break in the action, though. I really don't see these things dipping much. They really are great, and they're still so usable. I mean, I'm taking this on a 1,000-mile trip. I'm comfortable. I got all my stuff. I'm getting 29 miles a gallon. Don't delay. Go buy a 4th gen. You'll thank me later. All right, this is the last stretch. This thing looks good just sitting in the sun, you know? It's a 20-foot car, but it still cleans up good enough for me. We've gone almost 180 miles. Yeah, almost 180 miles. Little over a quarter of a tank showing, but this might be the tank I get 30 on. We're gonna find out. So yeah, okay, it's in between half and a quarter now that we're not moving, but yeah, back to the highway. Everything's going smooth. I know this is going to be kind of a boring video, but hey, look at that. Lake Bonneville, speak of the Pontiac. Yeah, but this is just what I'm driving this week for work, so I decided to record it. I'm really tempted to ruin the fuel economy by getting on the highway here in a very aggressive manner, but I'm not going to. I'm going for 30. All right, final fuel up here. Wow, it's fueling up here. Let's see how many miles we got. We can do like a real-time calculation here, but we'll see. This tank might be the 31. It was at about a quarter showing, and we went 324 miles. Ought to be interesting. But yeah, Firebird did great. I'm comfortable. Honestly, I might sell the Matrix. So if you're watching this and you like the Matrix, I think I'm just going to use this and the square body Suburban or my other Suburban in the winter and just drive this in the summer. I don't think I really need the Matrix as much as I love it. I'm trying to get my fleet back down to 4 or 5 cars.
Grab a 20-ounce Pepsi, a hot dog, and a bag of Frito-Lay cheese. Or kickstart
10.8. We didn't do it. That's under 30. It's really close though. Yeah, 10.87. So that's about 29 again. What can you do? You know what? I'm calling it 30. If I divide it by 10.8, I got 30.05. And that last little bit of gas I put in actually spilled out. So that's it. We got 30. Mission accomplished. Appreciate you guys watching. I'll drive something else interesting next week. I'll be in a rental car, so just figured I'd get a little video up because it's been a while. And yeah, like I said, if you want to buy the Matrix, let me know. It's going up for sale soon. Appreciate you guys watching as always. Go out and drive your cars. I mean, hopefully this inspires you. Even my 180,000 mile Firebird that I didn't drive too often. Had no problem doing a 1,000-mile trip. So get on Craigslist, get on Facebook, buy something cool, and I'll see you out there. Thanks again for watching, guys.